Starting off, beloveds, I see very clearly the divine Lewa Shekinah over each and every one. See clearly right away in your spiritual eye the symbol of the white dove, a universal symbol of peace. And this beautiful emanation of the white dove, that's not simply a white dove, but emanates a living light. See clearly over your head. And see this pillar of light that comes from the highest celestial realms of light. In this age of miracles, indeed in the age of the Holy Spirit, the Ruach HaKodesh, the divine Shekinah presence, the divine feminine presence, moving in now to balance, restore, to uplift, and to guide. So clearly, it takes its position in this now moment. Above the head, about 8 inches, where the higher chakra resides. And as you begin to breathe the sacred in-breath and out-breath, you realize, understand, and know that this divine grace and frequency of the movement of the divine presence is moving in and through your breath. And so you breathe with focused intention and attention that each inhalation and exhalation is a blessing and a grace. And with ease and grace, it begins to align your frequency, indeed, the Antakarana, that is the tube of light within this Lewa Shekinah, the pillar of light. Your personal Antakarana that reaches to the highest heights of creation, of the source of the one. And as it moves into the more denser fields and frequency, through the movement of the Holy Spirit, through the movement of the divine presence, with each and every blessed sacred inhalation and exhalation of the breath. Indeed, beloveds, the breath of Brahma, the breath of the divine in-breath and out-breath of the cosmos, of the cosmic Christ, of the divine Maitreya, of all that is sacred and holy in the one. And so this energetic is living and moving. And as this radiant light above the physical head into the ethereal bodies begin to radiate this white light, it is the whitest light beyond description of human perception and understanding. But it is the moving and living presence of the divine. It is the divine presence coming through this Lewa Shekinah, through the symbol of the dove that radiates this white light, holding the higher divine codes. Indeed, the codes activating now in the ascension process of so many who now come into this great alignment, personally, individually, and as well collectively. And so we breathe with purpose. We breathe with intention. And as this pillar of light that's uniquely within us expands into the pillar of lights of those here in this now moment, connected through the heart and the mind. But within the heart and mind of God, so many now draw as they begin to see the movement and the radiance of the children of light upon the earth who have not forgotten. And there is the great communion of saints that take place in this now moment. It is a divine and holy grace that comes in great benevolence, great support, and great understanding. Its purpose is the installation of unshakable peace. And so collectively, we breathe for the human kingdom. We are as the catalyst, the avatar. We are that breathes through our very DNA connection to the humanity of this earth and beyond. And through the entanglement of our DNA, through the entanglement of our 3D form in a material world, it reaches throughout this earth complex. And so we are the sacred holy containers, breathing in the higher celestial realms of light, of the movement of the Holy Spirit. And the radiance now of the dove is beyond perception of even seeing the symbol of the dove, for its bright, white, living light is beyond compression, understanding. But we sense it, feel it, and know it, and see it clearly in our spiritual eye that we are now as supernovas in the brightness of this living light. Simply breathe the eternal, the one in-breath and out-breath of the divine, of the cosmos, of the creator of all that is, which is love and presence. And the brilliance of this light beyond description, the movement of the divine presence through the Shekinah Esh, through the Leah Shekinah, the pillar of light has broadened, and there is no parameter. All we can see is its brilliance in any and everything, in all directions and in all ways. We are this light. And we hold the intention through the children of light upon the earth who have not forgotten to use our biological vehicle, the body, the mind, the spirit, the very ethereal parts of ourselves, to move this light in our entanglement, in our engagement, in our connection through the three-dimensional world, the 3D density, to all those in whatever level of evolutionary expression they are at. All are connected in the three-dimensional world. And so as we hold our consciousness that continues to soar in the highest elevations of the light and unconditional love, as we soar into the great paradise worlds, the crystalline worlds, the Shambhala worlds, as we go into the Azaluth worlds, into the throne worlds, as we are accompanied in the brilliance of radiant beings beyond measure, beyond description, beyond understanding. But we know that we are part of this divine sacred collective. And as we hold our space as others hold theirs, we now radiate as a great container of light and love and move through our physical body, our connection to this sacred earth. And first we do through the soles of our feet, using the avatar body to move forward the higher light prescription, moving it now through our physical body, through the Antakarana, which now clears, widens, and all debris distortions is now removed, and it serves as a clear channel in this now movement. And this brilliance of light, the Ein Sof Or, the highest of light, beyond description, burns away all distortions, all miscreations, all that is blocking and not in the highest alignment burns away in this mighty, brilliant light. within this layer with Shekinah that continues to expand and holds the space of divine codes, living light pouring into the sacred earth through the children of light who have not forgotten, moving with ease and grace through their own chakra system, again widening, clearing, expanding the antakarana, the tube of light, so clarity becomes established, even functioning in a physical, mental, and emotional world, widening the antakarana for the understanding and raising in frequency of other light beings ever present and now becoming in the awareness field for each child of light upon the earth who have not forgotten. That no longer the physiology, the biology is a limitation. It is one of many vehicles to be used. And so we use the avatar body, the physical, the mental, and the emotional frequency to pour in through the layer with Shekinah, the divine Holy Spirit presence, the movement of God throughout the kingdoms of this earth. And as this communion of heaven and earth takes place in this now moment, as this great light that is what we are in this divine collective on many levels, on many realms, from many expressions of the divine, merge together in this one now moment to expand this light, holding the divine codes, holding the cosmic memory, holding the balance and the healing and the peace. And so we simply breathe with intention. With each inhalation and exhalation, it moves this light out into all the levels of the expression of this sacred planet. All of her life in all of its expressions. And it moves like water into the mineral kingdom in every crevice, every covering. And it too brings forth the higher frequency of peace and perfect balance within the mineral kingdom. That its coding, its programming is the remembrance of the original Eden tree of peace and balance. And we breathe this into the mineral kingdom. But we move our thoughts, our intention onto the plant kingdom. And we bring forth this brilliance, the codes, the original thought form, the original Eden tree, the original covenant, the original agreements in its purity, in its balance, and in its peace, and in its love, onto the plant kingdom, onto the mighty trees, onto the fruits and the flowers, and its divine coding to be the expression of God's love upon the earth. We bring forth this cosmic re-remembrance to the plant kingdom, Mother Nature, again aligned and healed and balanced and anchored in peace from the wounds of the past. Holding in now this brilliant light that brings all the codes for healing, for balance, and for anchored peace. We spread it throughout the entire plant kingdom, into the very root system that goes to the core of the sacred earth, holding this frequency for her so that she heals, she balances, and she experiences the peace. And as she can experience this peace and this balance, so too all the elements will do that as well. And we hold this for the sacred elements, that there's not the need for the extremes, as the children of light hold the balance. We bring forth this living light into the plant kingdom, into the depths of its roots and its reach. We see the healing of the plant kingdom. We see the healing of Mother Nature. We see the balancing, the cleaning, and the clearing of the waters that nurture the plant kingdom, that in turn nurture the animal kingdom, that also nurtures the human kingdom. And so we intend with each and every sacred in-breath and out-breath of this living light, see the original Eden tree, the original Eden of perfect balance and peace upon the plant kingdom and the waters of the earth. We move our consciousness, our intention to the animal kingdom in a remembering of the history of the animal kingdom, its purpose, and the sacred coding of the animal and the human kingdoms. We see these souls and group souls in its original perfection, in the symbiotic relationships, in the original thought form that created a harmonic, a balance, and a peace. We bring forth this living light to the animal kingdom for its healing, for the relationship between human and animal being restored and balanced and anchored in peace. As the symbiotic relationship moves into the higher frequency of its purpose, that all suffering taking place in the animal kingdom is relieved and healed as the light moves in and through this kingdom. And now our attention and intention, our consciousness moves to the human kingdom. And as we put our intention and attention, we see the higher light aeons through us, through this pillar of light, through this communion of heaven and earth. flow through us into the hearts and minds of the human kingdom, moving through the hearts that have turned to stone, moving through the minds that have allowed the little egos of the mind of men to predominate over the higher mind of the divine. In the remembering of the mind of God, the higher celestial realms of light that offers peace and balance, moves away now as we put our intention and attention in bringing forth this light, the cosmic Christ, the divine Maitreya, to move all distortions, all miscreations, all suffering in the human kingdom, to bring forth the highest celestial codes from the highest of the Zion, the highest of the Adam Kadmon, the divine human, coming in through us into the frequency of the three-dimensional world, that world for many that's been cut off from the higher parts of themselves. And so we utilize ourselves as the bridge between those who have forgotten and the higher light seeking to come in, seeking to remember, seeking to connect once again. So we breathe this into the human kingdom and all levels of evolutionary pathways and all levels of expressions of the human kingdom, in the remembering and the awakening of their higher selves, their higher purpose. We breathe the grace of God. We breathe the light. We are aware that as we serve, we are served with grateful hearts for our own balance and peace and healing. That we radiate this divine grace where it cannot be contained, the Leowish Shekinah, the brilliance of the movement of the presence of God, through the Holy Spirit coursing in and through and around us. We are grateful for the gifts of the Holy Spirit and our higher awareness, that we choose to raise the vibration and the frequency as all is that. And by aligning and moving in this commitment of our spiritual path, the electrons spin in our very atomic and atomic levels, intensifies and speeds up, and stays permanently as such. That you hold the radiance of the Christ, the divine Maitreya, in your day-to-day activities, affecting those in a positive and brilliant way without them even having understanding. And indeed, there are those that you awaken simply by your presence. So we are grateful and honored to serve with the ascended realms of light, remembering who we are on this ascension process. And now we sense the time has come for us to return totally into our physical, mental, emotional bodies, grounded to the sacred earth. Even as this great work continues, we make a notation to continue this, a thought of this before we go to bed. When the spirit is released totally from the body and can work in the upper realms, continuing the process. And now, very slowly, but very methodically, we begin to draw in our electromagnetic field as much as we would want to stay in this perfect balance and anchored peace. We are now returning. Our intention is to be back and totally anchored to the great and beautiful earth, even as the great radiant ones in their brilliance begin to draw in their electromagnetic field. Slowly but surely, we begin to come more into our physical, mental, and emotional presence. And on the count of 3, in the remembering, we'll think of this before we go to bed to sleep. We will be back, awake, anchored, and fully alert. 1, 2, take a very deep breath in. And 3, you're back, awake, alert, and we are grounded. Take your time. It's a very deep energy came in. Take your